Close your eyes for some time and imagine you are someone who is a victim of an accident in which you get lost along with a boat in the world's largest ocean, that is, the Pacific Ocean, which is spread in 165 million square kilometers. And in this vast ocean, there's nobody of your own. Neither do you have food to eat nor water to drink, and you can't drink the ocean's water because it's too salty, and you don't have any equipment which will take you back, and you don't know where you are in the ocean and where you want to go. Many big vessels passed from nearby, but none of them spotted you. You are surviving on the mere hope that someone will come and rescue me, but no one comes there. Now you can open your eyes. And thank God that this is just an imagination. But the story that I'm going to narrate to you today, it's not an imagination, but a real story. And after hearing this story, you'll get goosebumps. And this is a story of Joe Salvador, who was a very good fisherman. The story is of 17 November 2012. This is the date when Joe left a small village in Mexico and got down in deep waters to catch fish. And let me tell you that the water in which he got down were nothing but the world's biggest ocean, the Pacific Ocean. And this ocean is so big that even if all the amount of land, desert, snow, rivers, lakes, and waterfalls on this earth are brought together, then they all too can't match the vastness of this ocean. At the time, along with Joe, one of his friends was also there. And Joe's job was there that they'll leave for 30 hours to catch fish, and accordingly they had carried food and water with them. But destiny, had something else in mind. For some time everything went according to plan, but then a dangerous storm knocked. Initially there was a light wind and a little rainfall, but Joe ignored it and kept going forward. But little did Joe know that how much this risk was gonna cost him. When the wind got stronger, Joe understood that a very dangerous storm was coming his way. Joe turned his boat and started returning to where he come from. But by then, it was too late, and both of them were victims of the storm. Joe ran his boat at full speed, and somehow, by fighting the storm, he was about to reach his destination. And that's when the fuel of his boat ran out. And another bad thing, that was they had no oars to run the boat. And the waves changed their direction and again pushed them in the dangerous direction. They had no other option. They had just the last hope, which was their radio, through which they could contact the team. But by the time they got some response, the battery of their radio runs out, and so does their last hope. They don't know which direction is their destination, and now they have come across around 400 kilometers from their destination. That's too far. The ocean was so big, their boat was so small, not even the rescue team could find them. From bad to worse, what happened to them was whatever food they bought with them, whatever fishes they had caught, all that they had thrown into the ocean so that the boat could run faster. They were getting restless due to hunger, and the conditions forced them to do that thing which they wouldn't even dream of doing. With their hand, they caught sea animals and eat them rawly. And to fulfill their thirst, they would drink rainwater. But when there was no traces of rain for long at that time, you wouldn't believe it, they drank animal blood and their own urine. It's difficult for us to even imagine the mental torture they were going through. And somehow they spent 4 months. That's too long. But Joe's friend couldn't bear this torture, and he died. Now Joe was left all alone. He had no one to talk to. He was struggling all alone. Spending each day got more and more difficult. He had no more work to do. The body was deteriorating from sitting in one place. He had to watch the stars at night and think, what if only someone come here and rescued me? Nobody would come there. 6 months passed. Now Joe had come to the center of the Pacific Ocean, the world's largest ocean. He did not know where he was and wouldn't have known what to happen to him. He too had almost lost all his will to live. But one day he saw a big ship, but due to the boat being small and lack of the flare gun, the people on the ship couldn't spot that boat. Joe shouted a lot and did a lot of gestures, but no one saw him, and the hope that he had after 6 months died again. Many airplanes too went from above Joe, but he had nothing with him to give a signal to them. Joe was at a distance of 1,000 kilometers from his village. He completely left himself in the hands of God. With time, many ships passed around him. With time, he felt the movements of many ships, but nobody came forward to help and rescue him. Joe hadn't died, but his condition was no less than that of a dead man. It was Joe's will to live that. Despite bearing all this torture for 400 plus days, made him survive. And in this difficult time, Joe had made such a world record that in this whole world, no one would even want to break despite wishing for it. Surviving in the ocean without any sources, plus 400 days and many more. Finally, after 438 days, that is on 30th January 2014, he saw an island for the first time. And as soon as he spotted it, it was as if the dead body got life. The island was 10-15 kilometers away from him. He gave it his all and steered his boat towards that island. It was good that he saw his island, because the next closest island was about 5,000 kilometers away. As soon as he reached that island, he set foot on the land for the first time in 438 days. But due to sitting for many days in one place, he wasn't able to walk properly. His eyesight too had become weaker. He set foot on the island, he crawled, he moved a bit ahead as if he had started hitting the sea, and then he becomes unconscious there. And when he gained consciousness, he found the island's local guards around him. The guards contacted the team and they told them about Joe. Joe was sent back to his country. When Joe reached back to his family, everyone's eyes were left wide open because everyone has accepted the fact that Joe was no more. And the happiest were his parents and his 14-year-old daughter Fatima. So this was the story of a person who for 400 plus days survived in the ocean solely on the strength of his hope. What do we get to learn from this story is that what all can a man do? He had nothing, yet he survived 400 plus days. And that too when he had nothing, no food, no water, nothing to save him from heat or cold, or nothing at all. Because when there is a will inside a man for doing something, then no matter what the circumstances are, they cannot beat that man. Whatever thing the circumstances force us to do, we'll do them. And things wouldn't be as bad as Joey's one with you, right? Everything bad happened to him, except that he didn't die. Other than that, all the bad things happened to him. He suffered so much torture for 438 days. So no matter how the circumstances are, remember this story once, and then you will know how much better your circumstances are. You are trapped just because of yourself. So if you like this real story, then don't forget to share it and subscribe to our family. We'll meet you again in the next video.